Hello, I'm Crystal Vilkaitis. I'm a curious, wine-loving entrepreneur who loves to learn and have open and honest conversations. Join me and my amazing guests as we talk about all sorts of relatable business and life stuff. It's my goal that you'll have fun, learn something new, and get inspired. Wine is not required, but is recommended. This is Crystal Uncorked. Oh my gosh! Welcome to Crystal Uncorked. I am so incredibly excited that you are here, that we are here together. Cheers to you. I am Crystal Vilkaitis, and this has been a passion of mine for many years, a desire to do this podcast / show, and I am so excited that we're here. So welcome to the first episode, and this is really just going to be about Crystal Uncorked, where this came from, and my vision for this show. So first up, we will probably almost always have wine. So cheers to you. And I realized as I did my little setup here that you can't really see my wine and what I'm drinking. We've got another camera here. And that door is supposed to be shut, but it was just way too hot. We're uncorked here, so you're just seeing the whole behind the scenes. Austin Hope is one of my favorites. If you have not tried the Austin Hope Cab, it is a little bit more of a premium wine. It's around $50 to $60 a bottle. But I had to start my first show with Austin Hope because I freaking love this cab. It is so good. Definitely might be my all-time favorite wine. For that price point, I will say, for at least what I've tried so far. So part of Crystal Uncorked will be trying new wines. And I hope that you try these new wines with me and we can share about it. And I got to tell you, it is a dream of mine to actually have my own wine. And so maybe this show can lead to that. We will see. But cheers, raise a glass, cheers. I love this glass. It's like the size of my face. So here we go. I am going to tell you a little bit about this concept, this idea, Crystal Uncorked. In the summer of 2017, I came back from a business trip, and when I was on the airplane, I just felt a little off. Something was happening. I couldn't really tell what was going on, and when I got home, I was standing in my closet, changing, and I felt so alone. I remember just looking at myself in the mirror in the closet and just crying, and I just felt really confused on what am I supposed to do. At this point, this was 2017, so this was 3.5 years ago. I was 5 years into running my business. I was going through some stuff as we do as business owners, which I'm going to talk about on this show and open up about those different challenges that I've had. And because I'm sure that you've had them too. Like, I really want to just have this conversation about what it's like being a business owner and then life topics too. So I'm sitting there and I'm feeling really alone and really confused and wanting and wishing that there was a resource out there that I could listen to or read that could help support me. And I knew that there were so many different blogs and books and podcasts that were out there. I mean, like, there is no shortage of content. But everything that I was coming across was very, they were already successful, doing multi-million-dollar launches, multi-millionaires, billionaires, and that is inspiring for sure. And those things are needed. We want to hear about those stories, but I wanted to have something that was a little bit more relatable to what I was going through. And so I thought, sitting there, what if I shared what I was going through? Like, what if I opened up and shared, and in return, I did find guidance. I was able to get some answers. And then, even better, what if I could help somebody else along their journey? What if they could relate to me and they didn't feel so alone? And that became like a massive like mind-blowing moment for me. I remember just starting to break down because it felt like something bigger. It felt like something more. The business that I own is called Crystal Media. I teach social media. I've been in the social media space for a very long time. And the thought of opening up and sharing on other topics, business topics, life topics, leadership topics, at that time felt really scary, but I felt this pull to do it. It felt really meaningful. But that was 3.5 years ago. And that was the day I'll never forget that was planted in my head, but it took me 3.5 years to get here to this first episode. And the reason is because I had so much fear. I had so much fear of what people would think about me and my show. And I just have to say this. I hope the audio doesn't pick this up, but my French bulldogs are in here with me and one snores. Barry, you're going to meet these guys for sure. And I hope you don't hear him snoring, but there's a possibility that you do. So we're going to just keep rolling with it and fingers crossed. We're uncorked, right? So cheers to that. So I had this idea and it has stuck with me. It's like I've had so many different ideas. I've thankfully got my business to a place where it's a self-managing business. My employees are awesome. My team, I never call them employees. That felt weird. My team is awesome. And I have some more freedom. And these are things that I want to talk about on this show of how I got to that place of having more time. And I think I needed to get to this place of having some more time to really give what I wanted to give to this show. So it definitely took me time, but my biggest holdup of doing Crystal Uncorked has been my fear of what other people will think. And this fear has been deep. I have worried so much about what the people in my life will think. My friends, my family, my boyfriend, my team, my clients, random freaking strangers online. Like, what are people going to think? And also, I just said freaking, and I never say freaking in my personal life. I will always say fucking. And that is something that you're going to see on this show is I'm going to cuss occasionally because that is who I am. And so, earmuffs or headphones, if you have any children around, there won't be a ton of cussing, but it's something to look forward to or expect. So I cared so much about what people in my life would think. And then I moved into this, why my topics? Like, nobody's going to care about what I have to say. Why would they want to listen to me? Am I credible enough? I haven't done multi-million-dollar deals. I'm not a multi-million-dollar billionaire or this massive company. Why would anybody care? And then I worried about, am I relatable? What if I only had like 5 episodes and then nothing else to say? And so you go through this work of effort and all this effort and you like launch it and then it just fizzles out. And to that point, like, I can't predict the future. It is what it is. But I will tell you that I have over 80 topics lined up and ready to go for this show. And that does not include the guests that I'm bringing on. So I think we're good there, but it was totally like all the head trash, right? I call that head trash of just this constant trash going on over and over in my mind of why I shouldn't do the show, why I'm not qualified, and really just nervous about what people will think. And I thought, why me? Like, why me? Who am I? I'm just this average girl from Loveland, Colorado, who I don't have this big traumatic story like a lot of these podcasters or speakers you'll hear about have these big traumatic things that they've overcome. And so that's so motivational to listen to them. And I've had a pretty easy childhood. I mean, I definitely have been through things, which we'll talk about on this show. But I wouldn't say that they're traumatic experiences. They were hard experiences that I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have gone through. So I felt like, well, I'm not special in that case. So why me? Why would you want to listen to me? And then all of a sudden I was reminded of my dear friend and very loyal team member, Pauline, she had this desire to go to Italy for her 40th birthday. And she wanted a staffed castle. She wanted the most amazing food cooked for her, like this incredible experience. And she would think, well, why me? Like, who do I think I am? Why me? And then one day she flipped it and said, why not me? And the rest is history. She booked an Airbnb. She texted 9 of her closest friends and family members. And 3 years later, we were sitting around an epic table having a out of this world 8-course meal. Like, seriously, probably the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. And she did it. And obviously I was there. And I'll tell you about that trip because my boyfriend and I got the opportunity to stay in Italy for a month. It was life-changing for both him and I. He and I will talk about it together on the podcast. So stay tuned. But the moral of this story is, why not me? And so that started becoming louder in my head. Why not me? Why not me? Why not me? And then I started feeling like I would really regret not doing this. So at the end of the day, if nobody listened and, that's it really. Is that the worst case scenario? Or somebody listens or people listen and they hate me and they like crucify me online, which that can happen. You run that risk of putting yourself out there and that could happen. Not everybody's going to like me. But I guess that's the worst case scenario. Honestly, for me, the regret of not doing this would be worse. So here I am. And I have to tell you, in September of 2018, I was at a conference in Tucson. I was speaking and I went to the dinner and we're all like networking and having dinner together. And I'm talking to a retailer who's a client of ours, Janelle. And Janelle, if you listen to this, like, please leave a comment, reach out to me. I would love you on my show because you're amazing. I told her about this idea of how I want to do this podcast. It was September of 2019. And she's like, you have to do it. And I was like, well, why me? I was like really in my head and I just felt really comfortable opening up to her. Thankfully, thank you, Janelle, for allowing that space for me. And so she was like, Crystal, she said something along the lines like this. She's like, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I found this one of these 3 teenage girls who are friends who do this podcast in their room. And it's sort of like this joke and it's funny and it's comedy. And their sponsor is a bag of cement. So if I listen to 3 teenage girls who are sponsored by a bag of cement, I would love to listen to your podcast about the challenges that you've had with business and how you've overcome those and hear from your guests, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, Janelle. That was hilarious. First of all, like sponsored by a bag of cement. And second of all, thank you. I was so honored to hear that from her, but really, the other thing that I couldn't get out of my head is about a year ago, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about what if you don't put your stuff out there? And the person, Catherine Zinkina with Manifestation Babe, she said, imagine if your favorite podcast person thought the same way. Imagine if I thought the same way and never put any content out there, let the fear overcome you and not get out there. And that was huge for me because I freaking love listening to Catherine. She's a part of my every week. I've learned so much from her. She's helped me a ton. And if she was too fearful to get out there and never did her podcast, where would I be today, right? And there are a million people that teach manifestation. She is not the only one. So here I am. And I've got to tell you that I have ideas for the future of Crystal Uncorked. The topics that you can expect are hopefully exciting to you, and I am bringing in guests as well. So we're going to have a really nice open and transparent conversation over wine. And, but just to give you an idea of some of the things that are on this 80 plus list that I have, I want to talk about the business challenges and how I've overcome those. There's a lot in there as it relates to me as an owner, my psyche, my team, my time management, marketing, gurus, like all sorts of stuff. So we're going to go there. I also want to talk about, for example, more life topics. I am 35 years old as I'm filming this. It's March 1st, 2021. And I cannot tell you how many times people have asked me, oh, when are you going to have kids? Or, oh, you'll get there. When I say, oh, I don't want to have kids, they'll say, oh, you will. Oh, once you find the right person. Oh, once you're a little bit older. Oh, once you're a little more. No, I don't. I've never wanted kids. And we're going to talk about that because there's a lot to be said about that. And then I want to bring on my friends who are mamas, who have amazing children, small families, big families, variety of families. And I'm very excited to bring them on too, because I want to have that conversation. But I also want to share why I chose a different path and kind of that backstory for me. I want to talk about technology. Totally shifting gears here. I want to talk about technology and innovation. And I have a company, Crystal Media. We teach social media. And you can find me if you want to learn social media tactics. Follow Crystal Media. My team and I are teaching that over there. We'll talk about some social media topics on Crystal Uncorked too. But I also want to talk about the negative side of social media. A lot of people have watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. And when that came out, I was like, yeah, duh. Like, yes, this is how social media works. But what it did is it opened so many people's eyes about these algorithms and how they make you addicted to social media. And what I've had a fear for and just a natural wanting to solve, wanting to help is our youth and social media. I'm really saddened by what I'm seeing and what's happening, and I understand why it's happening. And so I want to have some of those questions on this podcast. I want to talk about, I have a really cool story about how I had a money block and how I released the money block. And the very next week, I had the most money in my bank account that I've ever had, which is very exciting. And I'm going to there was somebody who helped me get there, and she's going to be a guest of mine, and, which is my doctor and, my holistic naturopathic doctor, who's also an MD, Michelle Wolford, who actually helped me get this fucking show online because, we will go there. You will hear all about the behind the scenes that I had to go through to do Crystal Uncorked. And Michelle helped me in so many ways. And ultimately, in my last session with her last month, she's like, it's like you're looking for permission. And I was like, yeah, that is kind of what I'm feeling like. She's like, okay, you have my permission. And so here I am. Here we are. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I'm bringing on amazing guests. I have amazing, incredible people in my life. And I also want to meet people through this experience too, new people. I am so open to wherever this podcast is going to go. And I hope that you are ready to be on this journey with me as well, because I just want to have fun. I want to learn and I want to inspire. That is my goal here. And if you want those things too, then join me. And if you like wine, which sponsored, by the way, this is just, I want to show off my wine. So, cheers to Austin Hope Cab. Oh, I did cheers here, but I guess I should cheers over here. Cameras, producer, writer, speaker, podcaster, you do it all because technology allows us to be able to do it all. So I think that I have covered everything. I just want to check my notes really fast. I'm super amateur right here, and that's okay. This is the final thing that I want to say. In 2019, I put on a super real, honest, raw post on my Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page. And I just said, like, I've been wanting to do this blog, so fuck it, I'm going to do it. And here I go. That was almost 2 years ago, by the way. We're here, though. We're here. And I have to tell you, so many people commented on that post saying, me too, me too, me too. I couldn't believe, first of all, I had a ton of support. People were like, yes, do it, do it, do it. People reaching out privately saying, you want me to be your accountability partner. And then people saying they want to do it too. So if you can relate to that. If you're like, I've been wanting to do something too. It doesn't even have to be a podcast or a show. What is it? Is there something in your life that you've been wanting to do, but you've been scared, you've had fear, you've been putting on the back burner? This is maybe a little gentle shove that now might be a good time. Maybe we put our fear on the back burner and really just show up and do it, because life is short, and I have such a fear of regretting things in my life, and I don't want you to regret anything either. So now might be the time. I once heard that if it scares you, it's probably worth it. And so I just want to share that with you. So if you're wanting to do something, if you're fearful, if you want to talk about it, if you want to brainstorm, if you just want to share your idea, if you want to be like, I'm going to share it to somebody to help hold me accountable, if you want fucking permission, like I needed from Michelle, will you DM me? Will you email me? cheers@crystaluncorked.com goes to me. Please let me know. I will give you permission. I am here to brainstorm. I want to hear about your idea. And I cannot thank you enough for being on this journey with me. Truly, I am stoked. I'm ready to get uncorked. I'm ready to open up. And I hope you are too. So one last time for this episode, cheers. And I will see you on the next show, on the next episode. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. If you want to leave a review, please leave a review. Please go listen to the other episodes. Get a feel for what's going on here. I hope to see you in this community that of wine lovers and curious people that I am building. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Are you on Instagram? I'd love to see pictures of you listening to the show, a screenshot of your favorite episode, and or your favorite wines. Share them with me. Just follow and tag @Crystal Uncorked. I can't wait to see you there. All right, I'll see you on the next See You.